a person, but bear with me. Pray for me. Such a sweet spirit in this church. Love him. I'm sorry. Thank you, Lord. Such a sweet spirit in this church. I thank God for it. Thank God for all y'all. You knew me when I was, some of y'all knew when I was still courting Robin. Wasn't even married yet. I was saved in the Pentecostal church down the road, the little one that I always look at when I come here and think, well, it's a sweet little church, and it's time to move on, and you have such a beautiful church now. You moved on, but the spirit here continues. It never has left. All you sweet people. I was saved when Ralph Minix was here. I was in my late 20s. The conviction was there. I don't even think we hadn't had any babies yet. I was in my late 20s. I didn't have Lindsay, or my wife didn't have Lindsay until I was 30 years old. But anyway, I was saved here, and it will same church, different location. And I'll never forget it. But I want to thank you all. You know, it's been, well, about a year and a half now. Time really has flown. I want to thank you all for your prayers, your encouragement, your undying love. Because my love for you was undying. Always. And again, I want to wish all the fathers happy birthday. Happy Father's Day. Some of y'all, when you were little, now you're fathers. You know? Maybe some of y'all when you're still courting yourself. But again, you know, I'll never forget you. I'll always love you. I'm doing for you. I want to thank you all for inviting me. And I want to let you know that through this whole ordeal, that God, I knew, you might doubt it at times, I'm human. That things happened, and I questioned why they happened. Didn't quite understand why. I knew everything happened for a reason. But I still pray every night. Even sing to myself in the critical care unit. And I said loud. The nurse even came, Craig, you good? You good? Guy? Thank you. I'm having church. Just if you'd like to join in, feel free. But let me love my God the way that I feel I need to praise Him. If you'd like to join again, have a seat. And He sent me two really phenomenal women nurses. And I'm sorry, one of the names escaped me, but the other one, her name was Lauren, and she was like a little angel to me. And I never knew. I apologize. I'm not trying to be a puppy downer, but it's just such a powerfully emotional time for me. And it still is, and it will be for the rest of my days. But she was like a little angel because she was so full of love and compassion, empathy. And at the time, I was a healthcare worker too, 30 plus years. And honestly, I'm going to be frank with you people today. And there may be some times that I'm going to be frank because we're family. This would never happen to me. I was invincible. That's the way I felt. Worked in healthcare. I knew what was going on. I knew symptoms. It would never happen to me. That's not the right way to feel. With age, that changes, and also with experience and wisdom. Things change. Anyway, just mentioning those two nurses, they were very instrumental in changing my outlook. It began any other day, working in a hospital. Here we go again. You do it for a lot of years. Honestly, you question why you've chosen this profession, because you do burn out. You see so much, you experience so much, and it grates at you sometimes, because sometimes you see things that happen. My goodness. That people experience aren't sincere. In other words, you see a lot of faults. People aren't who they appear to be. I'm not saying all people, but some people. You get kind of tired of that. Oh my goodness. Somebody who abuses their body, and and abuses their body don't understand. You get kind of tired of seeing the same person. Anyway, without getting into a lot of detail, I grew a little tired of some of that. And again, I felt I was invincible. God would never scorn me, I guess the word would be. And any other day, walking on a normal level surface, and I felt a pop in my left foot. Holy cow, it hurt. Never experienced that before. That really hurt. So I just continued to walk on it, not thinking anything, well, maybe I just sprained something, who knows. The next morning I woke up, my foot had swollen the size of a little watermelon. Never done that before either. I'm like, So I immediately called Dr. David Dano. I don't know if you all know him. I wish he was still here. He was a gift of this community. Always saw me on a minute's notice. Never questioned me, never questioned anything that anybody did. Such a compassionate, great, he still is a good guy. Called another doctor, and the other doctor says, oh, he's got gout. No, sir, I do not have gout. This is something I've never experienced before. Yeah, I'm diabetic, sure, yeah, but this isn't diabetic related. This is something that I felt a sincere pop in it, that it hurts. I didn't take the gout diagnosis, and I felt, Dr. Dan, will you order an MRI? And I'm trying to make this short as possible, guys. I apologize if I'm a little lengthy. If it gets a little lengthy, tell me to. I appreciate this. I really appreciate you asking me to speak. This means so very much to me. I haven't really had the chance. I've spoken to some young people, and it was a blessing to me, but I really haven't had the chance to really go over everything. And today's actually one of the very few times I spoke of, because again, I'm a private person, and I appreciate prayers and ask for prayers, but I really don't elaborate. And again, get back on track. Had the MRI done, the report came back not good. I had several stress fractures in my foot, tendon damage. I had no idea. No idea. What am I going to do now? Well, I'm invincible. I'll get over this. This will heal. Yeah, I'm not worried about it. I'll just put a brace on my foot and walk on a brace for a month or so, and that'll be better. I'll be fine. I'll be back on my feet. Piece of cake. I believe in God, always have, had a strong faith, and this sense of invincibility, being in healthcare, it's really hard to explain. I mean, to be a healthcare worker, you show your best face to the public, or your best face to the patient. Nothing's supposed to happen to us. And in my mind, I guess that's the way I felt. I don't know if invincibility is a good word or not, but that's the way I felt. It wouldn't happen to me. As a result of this wearing a brace for a little while, things didn't seem to get any better. I went, holy cow, what's wrong? Yeah, I'm diabetic, but I'm under control here with this. My sugar's doing good. No difficulty. I went to go see a podiatrist in Martinsville, and he looked at my foot and said, holy crap. Basically is what he said. Probably feel like colorful words, but I kind of tune those out. But I'm going to do this non-invasively. In other words, he didn't want to do any surgery. He said the best thing I can think to do, being that you're on your feet so much, because you'll be down for a good little while if I do perform surgery, fitted me for what they call an Arizona boot, which is a thing that supports your ankle, and it went, my toe stuck out a little bit, and it's a leather deal with laces in it. It's pretty tight, and it gave me support. And that worked for a while, but being that I was on my feet a lot, and I'm not bragging, but I was working 70-hour work weeks, sometimes more, on call constantly, on my feet. Didn't get to rest much, and I think that added to the demise of my foot. But I noticed one evening when I got home, I took the boot off, and I went, oh my gosh, there were 2 blisters, probably about the size of a 50-cent piece that came up on the side. If you're looking at your foot, your left foot, and on the side, on the side, came up, and I went, this isn't good. I'm a diabetic. I'll bandage them. I'll put a little antibiotic ointment on them, and they'll be fine. They'll go away. Well, the very next morning, and of course I prayed. It scared me. Here I'm a diabetic. I'm a young man. I gotta support my family the best way that I know how. And this is the way that I supported my family, and that's the way I took care of my family. I had a job just like everybody else does. Only I chose health care. Well, the skin wore away, and it was raw skin. It was blistered. It was looking pretty gruesome. I'll be all right. I'll put a little ointment on them, keep them dressed. I got to work. Can't stay out of work. That's the sign of weakness. And I'm sorry. That's just what's always been instilled in my mind, is that if you let your nonconformities win, you're weak. And I'll explain that later. But I didn't want to show my patients, show my family, show my wife, show anybody that I was succumbing to this. The blisters got worse. They were just raw. They were raw. They looked bad. They weren't bruising or anything, but they were there, and they weren't going away. After dressing, the blood from being on my feet all day long saturated these bandages and saturated my tennis shoe to the point I was walking down the hall one day, and one of the nurses said, Craig, you left something. And I went, what? And it was blood that soaked all the way through my tennis shoe and fell on the floor. I didn't realize that it was that bad. Well, going back and forth to Dr. Danner's office, I can remember about my birthday, it got bad. And Dr. Danner graciously saw me, he looked at me and went, oh my goodness, let's get you shot in the butt. Well, after many attempts at dressing, and they did heal some, yeah, they did, and I was hopeful. They'll be all right. Told Robin the same thing, my wife. I'll be all right. I've gotten a few shots in the butt, and I'll be all right. I've got some antibiotics on board, I'll be fine. It did fine. I got to the point one morning I woke up, I was severely nauseated, hiccuping. That's a sign of septicemia. Septicemia means poison going through your body and your blood. I was constantly, for the lack of a better word, heaving. Couldn't keep anything really on my stomach. I felt kind of out touch, confused. And I'm thinking to myself, I'll just go to Dr. Robin. I'm going to the doctor. So I went to the doctor, just looked at my foot. He went, son, you can lose your foot. No, I won't need a doctor. No, I'm fine. Listen to me. You're going to lose your foot. No. Just refer me to another doctor who knows a little more and does it regularly. And this is a specialty. I realize this is your specialty, but I'd rather see somebody in a bigger area and someone who goes to a bigger hospital. And well, he referred me to Dr. Vogler at Forsyth Hospital. This was his specialty. It was feet and injuries to the feet, diabetic feet, burn, just a variety of injuries, but this was his specialty. It was feet. He took a look at my foot, took a look at me, and took my blood pressure, because by this time, I was running a fever, I was getting really confused, my blood pressure was going nuts, it was sky high, and I was starting to see things. I was starting to feel things that I'm not quite understanding why. You're going to the ER, emergency room. So he sent me immediately. He was going to get an ambulance, but the guy who brought me graciously to his office, I go with him. I really didn't think that, I'll be all right. Well, they got me in the emergency room. The doctor took one look at me and, holy cow, you are sick, buddy. Took blood, all the gambit, and took a EKG, a heart tracing in my heart. And to his surprise and mine both, son, he said, Craig, you're in atrial fibrillation. What that means is my heart was quivering faster than the blood could get in my heart. It was just beating like that because I was septic. Never had any heart problems in my life. So by this time, he said, we're going to do a cardioversion with electricity if this medicine that we're going to give you doesn't work. No, you're not. You're not going to cardio. No, you're not. You're not going to do that. Yeah, we will. No, you're not. It was an argument. It was a test of wills. And luckily, by God's grace, the medicine he gave me stabilized that. My foot was that bad. I was severely septic. Didn't realize how bad until Dr. Vogler came in to the emergency room, looked at my foot and said, hey, you're going in the hospital. We're going to ICU now. Went to ICU, was in the ICU over a week, probably 9 days, I think. And I was out of it for the first probably 3 or 4 days. I didn't know where I was. It was just an unusual feeling, not to know who you are and where you're at. And I didn't know. He said, well, we're going to do surgery now. Oh? I'm not that sick. Craig, you don't understand what's going on with your foot. You almost died. We got your blood work in. Your kidneys are failing. There's so much MRSA in your blood. You're lucky to be alive. MRSA is a bad, bad bug that kills people if it's not treated. So as a result of this bad bug, I was given some really powerful antibiotics. Yeah, they do good, but they also do other things to your kidneys. They burn your kidney functions. And I'll tell you about that later. But this was unbeknownst, but I do know that I was going into kidney failure as a result of this medicine they were giving me, prepping me for surgery. Well, they took me to surgery. Boom. It just seemed like an instant. I woke up. Dr. King to me said, Craig says, man, we got some bad news. Man, you're messed up. We had to go in, open with a fasciotomy. In other words, they cut my foot open and had to leave it open to let it heal from the inside out. But you had such a pocket of infection in your foot, you're lucky to be alive. You're lucky we didn't take your foot then. Why did you wait? They were pretty firm with me. Dr. Vogler and Dr. Thetford worked together in the foot aspect of it. I thought I'd be okay. Well, Craig, you're not. We took a lot of infection out of your foot. We're going to leave your foot open. We had to amputate several tendons inside your foot too, to be exact, because it was overcome with infection. Didn't have to have any toes. You still have all 5 toes, but you don't have the tendons on. Oh my gosh. Boom. I thought, well, I'm not so invincible after all. Didn't say that, I thought it. Well, did okay with that hospitalization, went back to the ICU, then they put me in a room, and I thought everything would be fine after that. They prescribed a wound vac. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but what that does is you have all these bandages that go on your foot that make a seal, and they basically have this machine that sucks all the infection, I guess the word would be, out of the wound into a closed, sterile container to help the healing. And then home health came in and helped to clean my foot and heal, and it healed pretty good. I just had one place on my foot. I had 2, one in the back and one in the front. The one in the back was doing reasonably well. The one in the front was healing pretty good. The one in the back got worse. I thought that the wound vac was doing so well, but it didn't. I even cheated a couple times and stood on my own too. I felt so good because I've been around on a walker and couldn't put any weight on my foot, and I was at home. And I cheated. But I prayed. I knew it'd be better. Just take a little time. I'm diabetic, Well, it didn't. I really was afraid to sleep in the same bed as my wife, afraid that I'd bleed on the bed or mess up the sheets or even make her uncomfortable. Because I'd wake up on and off and I'd be running the temperature. Fever, I'll take some Tylenol. And I'm still nonchalant this time, which was foolish on my part, and I realize that now. But unbeknownst to me, things got worse, so I went back to the hospital. As a result of Dr. Vogler seeing me. Excuse me. It didn't do it much good. He said, I wanted to do a tendon transfer to get this foot back in order because I haven't done anything corrected to your foot yet, because I want you to, I'm going to save this foot. I've already saved your life. I want to save your foot now. And I thought, God bless you, Dr. Vogler. You are one kind of fighter. Thank you, Lord. I was thankful that he'd come into my life. Not only was he a good man, and I found that out later on, but he was very painstakingly conscientious. And he gave it on. He cared. And unfortunately, you don't see that a lot in modern medicine. It's, okay, glad you're back. It's unfortunate. People just kind of have that mentality. I work in healthcare. I'm invincible. You'll be all right. Thank goodness that's not happening to me. And you see that. Honestly, I saw it and thought the same thing. Well, as this progressed, he wasn't really happy with my recovery, and I got a little impatient about my treatment, and inevitably the foot didn't get much better, and he said, well, I'm going to do this as a last resort. I'm hoping and praying this will work. So they put pins in my foot to try to align my foot when I still have an active ulcer. And I've missed a few things on the way, but I'm not going to elaborate. I don't want to take too much time. But he basically put me in an external fixator with pins, 16 to be precise, in my foot and in my upper ankle to stabilize my foot and to get my foot in a way that it would correct. What he wanted to do was do a tendon transfer so that I would be able to save my foot and put weight on it and live a reasonably normal life. And I had hopes that I would, and I did a lot of praying. Good and snow, I did a lot of praying. I know Robin did too, bless her heart. Well, as time went by, these pins became infected, and then we go with the temperature and feeling bad again. I said, well, what is going on with me now? I've been through so much. kidney issue, the heart. Come on, what's next? You know, I want to get better. I want to get back to work. I want to provide for my family. I want to do what I know. I want to practice what I know. I want to get back into the field again. Well, the pins became infected. I went to the emergency room at Stewart because it was late one night, and I started to feel a real intense fever coming on. It gradually increased. 105. Well, Craig, you've never spiked a temp like that before. I think you need to go to the emergency room and get them to do something. Well, of course, they don't have any expertise in external fixators with pins. I'm going to transfer you to Forsyth. And I said, good, that's what I wanted you to do anyway. I'm not staying here because you don't know anything. It'll get worse. Ship me. Well, they shipped me. I went into the ER. Of course, they took me up to the floor immediately. The nurses recognized me. Craig, why are you back? I have an infection in my foot. These pins are infected. Dr. Boulder came to see me the next morning. And he said, well, you got one more chance. So they took some of the pins out while I was under anesthesia. Replaced it with new pins, and I thought everything was going to be hunky-dory lovely. I stayed in the hospital a few days, went home, same thing happened again. I developed another infection in my foot around the pins, and Robin was so diligent, as was the home health nurse, in dressing my foot every day, sometimes twice a day, God bless her, and the home health nurse too. She was such a rock. Never been exposed to anything. She even dressed my open wound, which kind of grossed her out at first, but she's a rock. She's just such a blessing. While I was in the hospital the first time with the pins, I never really experienced God's grace to that level. It wasn't medication. It wasn't pain medication, which, thank you, God, I didn't experience a lot of pain. I just didn't. But they gave me pain medication around the clock anyway, even though I told them, please, if I'm in pain, I'll ask you. If not, don't, but they gave it anyway. I guess it's the doctor's order. But I think I was asleep. I'm pretty sure I was. And I believe people come to you as you sleep. God spoke, and the Bible speaks of that quite often, how these people came to them in their dream. And my grandfather and grandmother came to me. My grandfather's been deceased for years, as my natural grandmother. I was 5 years old when she passed, 6 years old. But my grandmother came to me, and there she stood. Beautiful woman, by the way. She died at 49. Beautiful woman. Beautiful. And she was so just gorgeous, just glowing. She not aged a year. She said, Craig, I love you so much. What's wrong? It's like we were conversing, like I'm talking to you. And oh my gosh, she hugged me, and I felt it. Felt her arms, talking about security. I always love my grandmother. I smelled her perfume. I felt her skin. Can't describe it. Nearly my grandfather. He was about 6'8", tall, skinny fellow, stout as an ox. Didn't look like what he was. He said, Craig, life doesn't get any better than this. When he said that, I knew it was going to be all right. And he hugged me. Gave me a real strong pat. He said, I love you. He said, it's not time yet. I didn't understand what he meant by that. And my grandmother said, you're one of my baby. And I always love you. It's not time yet. We'll always be here. We'll always, excuse me, always be watching you. You'll always be our baby. Never forget that. And I woke. All of a sudden I woke and I'm thinking, what in the world? I just saw my grandma. I haven't seen my grandmother since I was just a kid. And I thought, well, not time yet. Oh, my Lord. Not time yet means they didn't want me to die. It wasn't time. God spoke to them and they spoke to me. God sent them to speak to me. Because he knew how much they loved and cared for me as a person and as her grandchild. Let them speak for him, saying that it's not time for me yet. It's not time for me to die. I have so much to live for. So much to do. So much to convey. So much I have to, there's so many things I have to do that I haven't done yet. That God spoke to them, spoke through them to me. To let them know that, we're here. You're not alone. You're not alone. You're not alone. We're here. Your family's here. God's here. Just a prayer away, son. Well, I went home again, and things got much, much worse. It failed me again, depends. I came back in the hospital, and Dr. Bedford and Vogler came in and said, we're going to take the pins out. We're going to see how your foot's doing, and we'll do the tendon transfer. Well, they took me to the operating room. Came back in my room, and I was semi-conscious, semi-awake, and anesthesia was still wearing off. And they came in, and Dr. Vogler had that look, and Dr. Theffer had that look, and I said, it's not good, is it, guys? They said, no. You have osteomyelitis in your feet and in your bones, which means my bones were soft, and there would be no way that they would correct. The damage from the septicemia and the infection did okay with antibiotics for a while, but I eventually my body just succumbed to the infection. And the last resort was, we're going to take your foot. 53-year-old man, believe me, that's young. I'm still young. I'm 55. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I have so much to live for. I've got 4 kids. A little boy, he's 7 years old at the time, 6 and a half, 7. What in the world is he going to think of his dad? I lose my foot, I'm going to be minus a foot. What in the world is my little boy going to think? He's got a gimp for a father.